Namaskar friends, welcome to this session 9 on our course on processing of polymers and polymer composites. Just to give a brief glimpse of what we have covered till now, we have covered the basic properties of thermosets and thermoplastics. We have seen the fundamental processes of casting, we have seen thermoforming, we have seen the process variants of extrusion, the fundamental of extrusion process, and in the last session we covered the compression molding process. So, we have covered varied types of processes. If you see, extrusion is a continuous process for making large, long axisymmetric products. Compression molding, majorly flat products. Casting for thermosets as per the dimensions of the mold. Thermoforming, again we have seen the different variants, closed mold process. Pressure is applied through vacuum or through pressure or through the mechanical means. So, the basic principle remains the same, that we take a plastic, we heat it, we deform it as per the shape required, finally we let it cool so that it conforms to the desired shape. Many a time the shape of the product is very complex. Now, for a complex product, we have to devise a process, we have to think that which process can help us to make this complex product. If you can try and open a plastic covering of a hand drill, you will see that the shape inside, the number of ribs and bosses, those are present there, those are the things that are very difficult to make. These days, no doubt there is rapid prototyping process which can help us in that, but if we want to make on large scale at a very fast rate, in those cases I believe that injection molding process becomes indispensable. For small scale, small number of parts, only to make a few prototypes, okay, we can go for a rapid prototyping process, but in case of large scale production, we will have to go for injection molding process. So, the basic application area of injection molding process is where we have large scale production, discrete parts have to be made, means that is not a continuous part like a gardener's pipe. These are discrete small parts. Then the volume is very large and the shape is very complex. In those cases, we will go for an injection molding process, which is one of the most widely used commercial plastic processing technique or plastic processing process. So, let us try to understand today the basic fundamentals or the basic, we can say, steps involved in an injection molding process. Let us see a simulation that how the injection molding works, and then maybe in our subsequent session we will see what are the different types of products that are made by injection molding process, what is the influence of the operating parameters or the control variables on the injection molding process. So, that we will see maybe in the subsequent session. Today we will try to understand the basic working principle of injection molding process. Now, let us start our discussion on the injection molding. First, let us try to systematize or to outline what I have already explained in the introductory part of today's session. Now, injection molding is one of the most commonly, I have told, this is a commercial process, industrial scale process used for plastic components. So, it is not something which we can say is in the research stage. Already different companies are making different types of injection molding machines, and at IIT Roorkee we have an injection molding machine which we are using for conducting our research work. So, it is a standard commercial process that is used for processing of plastic parts. It is used to manufacture thin walled plastic parts for a wide variety of shapes and sizes. So, wide variety of shapes and sizes means that it is used for very complex to fairly simple parts, as well as thin walled parts, means the thickness of the parts will not be very large, which we can achieve in the compression molding process, but we cannot use very thick parts in case of injection molding process. Maybe there are reasons for that, because we have to cool the part inside the mold cavity, and that can be one of the reasons that this process cannot be used for very thick parts. Plastic material is melted in the heating chamber and then injected into the mold, where it cools and finally the finished plastic part is ejected. Now again the fundamental 3 steps are coming into picture: the heating, molding or forming, and then cooling. So here you can see plastic material is melted in the heating chamber, so heating part is coming. Injected into the mold, mold will deform the molten plastic into the desired shape, so the deformation is coming into picture, or the forming of the molten plastic is coming into picture, and finally the cooling in the mold, so that we get the final product. So 3 steps common are coming again into picture, that is heating, forming and cooling. Now based upon the applications, there are 3 types of injection molding machines majorly used in industry. First one is the hand injection molding machine, operated by man, a manual, used for making small plastic parts. Then plunger type injection molding machine, as I have explained with the help of a syringe in one of the previous sessions, that there is a piston cylinder type of arrangement. In case of extrusion also, sometime in some types of machines it is used. So you have the molten plastic inside a barrel, and then you use a plunger or a piston to push it out of the die, and in this case into the die in case of injection molding machine. So plunger type injection molding machine and the reciprocating screw type injection molding machine, as we have studied in extrusion process, that there will be a barrel inside, there will be a rotating screw, the role of the screw we have discussed, and the different sections of the screw also we have discussed. If you remember, that there is a feed zone, then there is a melting zone, and then there is a metering zone. So that type of arrangement exists in case of injection molding machine also, that is reciprocating screw type injection molding machine. The only difference that I must highlight here between the injection molding machine and the extrusion process is, or in the process mechanisms, is that in injection molding the plastic will be melted and it will be pushed through either using a screw or using a piston or a plunger type of arrangement into the mold cavity. So here the final product will be made is a discrete product depending upon the shape of the mold or the die, whereas in case of extrusion, same principle, the plastic is in the melted stage or in the molten stage only, and it is pushed by the plunger or it is pushed by the rotating screw. In many cases twin screw extruders are there by 2 screws, but the product will come out of the die continuously. So we will get large scale production, but a continuous axisymmetric product can be made, or we can say a continuous product with not with much varying cross section, of a constant cross section, continuous product can be made using the extrusion process. So as learners we should keep in mind, sometimes this question is very common, that what is the difference between a extrusion process and injection molding process in context of plastics. Then we should be able to answer that extrusion is a continuous process, so where long constant cross section products are made, whereas in case of injection molding thin walled discrete products are made, maybe independent products are made with thin walls. So we will not get very thick walled products in case of injection molding. So basically 3 types of machines are in use. First one is the hand injection, then the plunger type injection molding, and finally the reciprocating screw type injection molding. And no need to get confused in this, we will try to understand it with the help of a diagram also. Here you have a hand injection molding machine. We can see there is a lever and we can rotate this lever. So this will actuate the plunger, and then this plunger will apply the pressure. The molten plastic will be pushed into the mold cavity or the die, and it will take the shape of the die. The small plastic buttons that we use on our shirts can be made using the hand type of injection molding machine. So here we can see the red part is shown, that is the final part maybe that has come out of the die. So this can be, we can see, most simple form of injection molding. So we have to heat the plastic, we have to push the plastic into the mold cavity, open the mold cavity to get the final product. So simple type of injection molding machine. On your screen you can see a plunger type of injection molding machine. This is a piston or a plunger. So our powder or the raw material is coming from this hopper. This is the hopper. In between there are plastic pellets, raw material. So the raw material enters into this cylinder, and then there is heating arrangement here. You can see heaters are there. These heaters can be through the entire length of the cylinder. So because of the heat, the plastic will melt, and then this piston will push this molten plastic into the mold. So this is the mold. We can see the mold is in two parts. One is a movable part, another one is a fixed part. So the fixed part is attached to the nozzle here, and the movable part can move or slide in this longitudinal direction. Similarly, in case of compression molding machine, we have seen here also we will have the ejector pins. This part, the final part that we have made, this blue color part, on your screen we can see this part is fabricated. This part will move along with the movable part of the mold, and finally the ejector pins will give a slight tap on the part so that it is pushed out or it is released from the mold, that is the movable part of the mold. So we will see what are the various steps involved, but here in this case the major thing that needs to be emphasized is the injection mechanism. Here we are using a piston type of injection mechanism. So piston will force this molten plastic through this nozzle into the mold cavity. So the mold cavity is created by two mold halves. One is a fixed mold half and another one is a movable mold half. So this is one thing. In second case, there is a rotating screw that pushes the molten plastic through the nozzle into the mold cavity. This is the mold, two-part mold here, and then this slides over these two tie bars. The movable part of the mold will slide over these two tie bars, and then maybe it will move in longitudinal direction. So when it will come close to the fixed part of the mold will get closed. In between we will have our mold cavity, and that mold cavity will be the exact replica of our final product that we want to make. So in this case, our, we can say, injection mechanism is a screw type injection mechanism. So this is a screw inside our barrel. So here is the screw, and the barrel has a heating arrangement. Here we have the heaters which will heat or melt the plastic. The raw material is again coming from the hopper. So the only difference between a screw type of injection as well as the plunger type of injection is in the mechanism through which we are pushing the molten plastic into the mold cavity. In piston type, we will use a piston or a plunger inside the cylinder to force the molten plastic into the mold cavity, whereas in case of screw type we will use a rotating screw to force the plastic or the molten plastic into the mold cavity. We will try to understand this with the help of an animation also. So that is the basic difference. So this is on your screen reciprocating screw type injection molding setup. Now let us try to understand the basic working principle of injection molding process. Plastic materials, usually in the form of powder or pellets, are fed from hopper into the injection chamber. There is a hopper in which we will put our pellets, and this will then come into the injection chamber, which can be a barrel. So the piston and cylinder reciprocating screw. So piston and cylinder is one type of mechanism, reciprocating screw is another type of mechanism which we have understood in our previous slides. So any of the mechanism, that type of arrangement is used to forward or push the material inserted from the hopper into the injection chamber. So that these two arrangements are there, as we have already seen. The material is heated in the injection chamber with the application of heating element. So that also we have understood. The molten plastic material is then injected into the mold through the nozzle. That also we have understood, that first the raw material in the form of pellets or powders will come from the hopper, it will enter into the injection chamber. The injection chamber has a heating arrangement all through the periphery. Now because of the heat coming from the heaters, the the pellets will melt, and these molten plastic will then be pushed either using a piston cylinder arrangement or using a reciprocating screw type arrangement, and this will be pushed through the nozzle. So we have reached the nozzle, that is one part where we have the molten plastic now. So what are the various steps? Let us go back. We have a injection chamber in which we have two arrangements, either a piston or a cylinder or a reciprocating screw. Prior to that, we have a hopper from which our raw material in the form of pellets is moving down. Now this pellet or solid raw material, because of the heating arrangement around the barrel, will melt, and this molten plastic is fed through the two different types of arrangement depending upon the type of machine that we are using. At nozzle, now what is going to happen? At nozzle we are pushing, there is a pressure from backside, so because of this pressure the plastic will flow and enter into the mold cavity, or we should use the word injected into the mold cavity, because the name of the process is injection molding. So the material now through the nozzle will be pushed into the mold cavity. So the molten plastic is then injected into the mold through the nozzle. Now the molded part is cooled quickly in the mold. There are cooling arrangement or cooling coils or cooling ducts in around the mold, which will form a forced cooling type of system. Why? Because in the whole process we need to cool the final product. Why? In many cases, in most of the cases, injection molding will be used for thermoplastic type of material, and as we have seen in our previous session on compression molding also, that for complete curing or complete molding or completing the process, we need to cool the thermoplastic parts. In case of compression molding also, we have to cool the plastic part. Therefore, it is not widely used for thermoplastics because the process cycle is very long. Similarly, as I have already highlighted, injection molding process is used for thermoplastic parts only, and thermoplastic parts needs to be cooled before they are finally ejected out of the mold, and therefore we need to accelerate the rate of cooling, and therefore we will have a cooling system inbuilt in our machine. Around the mold we may have maybe cooling jacket or cooling coils or maybe cooling chamber, in which whether air circulation or water circulation is provided depending upon the type of thermoplastic that we are using. So the molded part is cooled quickly in the mold. So quickly means we have a artificial arrangement of cooling. The final plastic part is removed from the mold. Once the process is complete, the final plastic part will be removed, and we will see in the animation that how the part is removed from the mold cavity. The process cycle for injection molding is very short, means it is very fast process, typically between 2 to 60 seconds. So you can see maybe we can make number of products in 1 hour, maybe 60 seconds means 1 minute. So in 1 hour we can make 60 different parts using the injection molding process. Now basically the whole injection molding cycle can be divided into 4 important steps. So the complete injection molding process is divided into 4 stages or 4 steps. We can see, we will try to understand all these 4 steps one by one. So first one is clamping, then injection, then cooling, and then ejection. Now clamping means the closure of the 2 parts of the mold. Now in this case we have one fixed part of the mold that is connected to the nozzle. There is a movable part that moves over the tie bar. As soon as the process starts, the mold is in open stage. Now we will discuss just one cycle of processing or fabricating one part. So one mold half is attached to the nozzle, other part will open up and the product will be removed. Now the next cycle will start. This movable part will move, it will come close to the mold or the fixed part of the mold. So when these two halves of the mold will close down, we will have the cavity cut inside, which is the exact replica of the final product that we want to make. So the fixed part of the mold, the movable part of the mold close down together. So that step or that stage is called as the clamping. Now we have the mold cavity inside the two halves of the mold, and the mold has closed, it has been clamped. So clamping force is required to keep the mold clamped. So first stage is clamping. Once we have the mold cavity inside the two halves of the mold, the next stage is injection. So already through the hopper, the pellets, polymer pellets have traveled down into the barrel or the injection chamber. Because of the heaters provided there, the molten plastic has been heated, it is maintained in the molten stage, and because of the screw or the piston cylinder type of arrangement, it is pushed through the nozzle into the mold cavity, and that stage or that step is called as the injection. So first we have closed the mold, then we have injected the molten plastic into the mold. Now we will keep the mold closed, there will be air or water circulation around the mold so that the cooling is accelerated. So the third stage is cooling. It can be natural cooling depending upon the requirement, it can be forced cooling through the water circulation or the air circulation. Finally, once the product has solidified inside the two mold halves, the movable half of the mold will move back, and it is desirable that the plastic part made inside the two halves of the mold travels with the movable half of the mold. And finally, there are ejector pins, as was the case in case of compression molding. These ejector pins will give a slight tap on the plastic part, and the plastic part will be detached from the movable half of the mold, and it can fall down into the collecting bin or the bucket or the box. So these are the four stages. One is the clamping, closing of the mold, injection of the molten plastic, cooling of the plastic part, and finally the ejection of the plastic part from the mold cavity. So these are the four stages. I have tried to explain to the best of my ability, and now we will try to read these four stages what has been put in the form of slides. Now clamping. Two halves of the mold must be tightly closed before the molten material is injected into the mold. One half of the mold is attached to the injection unit, that is nozzle, and the other half is allowed to slide on the guideways or the tie bar. The clamping of the mold is operated hydraulically, which pushes the moving half of the mold towards the fixed half of the mold to make a airtight chamber. So two half of the mold will close, and then inside you will have your mold cavity. The pressure and the time required to close and open the mold depends upon the machine capability. So each machine has specifications that what is the maximum clamping force that machine can apply. Now once the mold has been closed, then we inject the molten plastic. The plastic material is melted by the application of heat and forwarded through the piston towards the nozzle and finally into the mold cavity. The molten plastic is then injected into the mold cavity. The amount of material that is injected into the mold is referred to as shot volume. Now this is a new term that is coming in our discussion, that is shot volume. Now shot volume is the metered amount of molten plastic that we want to inject inside the mold cavity. So the amount of material that is injected into the mold through the nozzle is called as the shot volume. The injection time can be estimated by the shot volume, injection power, and pressure. So we can control the pressure that we are applying to force the molten plastic into the mold cavity, and we will see the influence of each of these parameters on the quality of the injection molded part in our next session. Today we are trying to just understand the basic stages of the injection molding process. So our injection time, that for how much time we will inject the molten plastic, that will depend, definitely it will depend on shot volume as well as the pressure that we are applying to the molten plastic to force it into the mold cavity. Now let us try to understand the injection molding through the process of simulation. So here we have very good simulation for the injection molding process, www.tronicarts.de. So, this is the pellets coming down, this is the hopper, these are the heating elements, 4 heating elements around the injection chamber. So, this is showing a reciprocating screw type of injection molding machine, metering zone, transition zone. So, these are the pellets, red color pellets that are coming down. Now, the screw is rotating and the material is moving down. Because of these heating elements, it will get melted, and this is a nozzle. So, here this is the mold is closed, we can see this is a closed mold, and these are the blue color portion are the cooling coils. Now, this has forced the red color plastic into the mold. This is a fixed part of the mold, this is a movable part of the mold. This is the final product that we want to make. So, this is movable part of the mold has moved and the product has been released. So, we will see another injection process. Again, it has been filled, the movable part will move back, movable part of the mold, it has moved back and it has been pushed out. So, you can see I think the process now is very clear to all of you, that from the hopper the raw material is coming into the injection chamber, then there is a rotating screw type of arrangement. It is forcing the plastic or the molten plastic through the nozzle into the mold cavity. The heaters are attached all around the barrel or the injection chamber, which heats the molten plastic, melts the molten plastic, and once it is injected into the mold cavity, the cooling circulation of water or air cools the part inside the mold cavity only, and once the part has solidified, after a particular holding time, the movable part of the mold will move back, the product will also move along with the movable part, and then the ejector pins will just give a little tap on this part that has been formed, and it can be then finally collected. So, this is a continuous process, and we can get large number of parts, maybe 50 to 60 parts in an hour, or if the size is short volume is very less, or maybe small volume parts can be even larger number can be produced on an hourly basis. Now, let us see what are the different types of materials used for injection molding process. Majorly used for thermoplastics, we can see acetal, acrylic, nylon, polycarbonate, polyether, ether ketone, polyethylene, polypropylene, polyvinyl chloride. So, majorly used for thermoplastic parts. What are the applications now? The injection molding process can be used to manufacture thin walled plastic housing products which require many ribs and bosses on the interior surfaces. Now, if you remember, in compression molding we have discussed that ribs and bosses, or too many ribs and bosses are not possible in case of compression molded parts, but those are possible in injection molding parts. These housings are used in a variety of products including household appliances, electronics, power tools, and as automotive dashboard. So, you can see that these housings that we can make using the injection molding process find number of applications. Thin walled products include different types of open containers such as buckets. So, we use plastic buckets in our household. So, they are made generally by the injection molding process only. It is also used to produce several daily use items such as toothbrushes or small plastic toys, many medical devices including valves and surgical syringes. So, injection molding process has got wide range of applications and different types of parts. Even the rear view mirror of our motorbikes can be made by using the injection molding process. Now, what are the advantages of injection molding process? It has got higher production. As we can see, the number of parts produced per hour are very large. Even a single minute we can produce one part. Close tolerances on small intricate parts. So, difficult to make the parts which are difficult to make using the other processing techniques for plastic can be made using the injection molding part. So part complexity is not a limitation, only thing that if the part is very complex, it is very difficult to fabricate the die or the mold for that part. But once the die and the mold is possible or it can be fabricated, it then becomes a very fast process of processing of complex parts also. So the wastage of material is less, complex geometry can easily, as I have already highlighted, this process is suitable for difficult to process complex geometries. What are the limitations now? As I have already told that the mold is the most important part of injection molding machine, and the fabrication of molds is one of the limitations. So the tooling cost is very high. For example, if we have seen the plastic chairs that we use in our day-to-day life, the mold cost of that chair is very large. So the mold is the most important part. Once we are able to fabricate the mold, then the process is fairly simple. Setup cost is also high, as well as large undercuts cannot be formed. So each process has got its own limitations, but the kinds of ribs and bosses which cannot be formed in other plastic molding techniques can easily be formed using the injection molding technique. So with this we come to the end of this session on injection molding. In next session also we will discuss the finer details, even a little bit of we can say the influence of the various parameters of injection molding on the process, that how we can control the parameters of injection molding process in order to make a good quality part using this process. So in injection molding second session we will discuss the finer details of the process as well as the discussion on the operating variables. Thank you.